Well, when I was asked to give my testimony right away, I thought I should give a testimony on giving. And not so much on my giving, but on God's giving to me and how good God has been to us. This summer, God just opened the windows of heaven and just poured out a tremendous blessing upon us. We started being given all sorts of things. We were given, the guy didn't say, I want to give this to you. He put out an ad, said, I've got a mower that doesn't work. If anyone wants to come and get this mower, they can have it. So my wife responded, and she went and got it. And it was a really nice mower, about a $400 mower. And the guy said, it doesn't run. I said, well, I'm not very mechanically inclined. I can do a few things. But within 10 minutes of having that mower, it was running. And it was self-propelled, and my wife's pushing it across the front yard. I'm like, baby, you don't have to mow the yard. I'll do that. No, I want to. It's a really nice mower. It did a really good job. And then we were given some other things. We were given a wood kitchen island, a solid wood kitchen island. And we were given a Keurig coffee machine. I think that's how you say it. Is that right, Keurig? And we were given a CPAP machine. And my daughter was given a dollhouse that's about as big as this pulpit. And I didn't want the thing in the house. I said, man, that thing's huge. It won't even fit in her bedroom. And all of these things God just was giving to us. And I didn't pray and ask for any of those things. It wasn't like I said, God, my gas grill went out and just got old and rusted. I need a new one. No, he just gave us one. Just gave us out of the blue. And lest you think that, well, God is like a celestial slot machine, and if you just pray for things, it's just going to come. It doesn't always work that way. But I think as it was happening, as I was being given all these things and other things, I didn't really tie any significance to it. I just thought God's being good. God's blessing us. I tell the kids, wow, what a blessing that we got this thing. Isn't that nice? But what I think was happening was that God was showing us that he could provide for us, that he could take care of us, because we'd been in a pretty bad financial situation for a while. You see, several years ago, the economy took a downturn, and my job is directly linked to how the economy is doing. I don't get paid by the hour. So as the economy went down, so did my pay. Things started slowing down. People weren't using as much. And at one point, my pay went down $20,000. It just crashed. And at the same time, my insurance costs started going up and up and up. And then when Obamacare went through, it exploded. Pretty soon, the cost just to have insurance was over $8,000 a year. And the insurance companies had changed things where it used to be you go into the doctor and you pay like a $50 copay and then it's going to be 80-20. It got to the point where the insurance company said, well, until you meet your $10,000 deductible, we don't want to pay anything. And so over about the last 3 years, our health expenses were about $40,000. Well, you can imagine how that would affect your budget. We didn't absorb it too well. Things were tough. And we began to pray about me finding another job. I talked to Pastor Dameron, and he said, you got to get out of there. You got to find something different. So we began to look, but nothing just came up. There were other jobs, offers that came up it was a lateral move. It wasn't going to increase my income. It would just stay the same. A lot of job offers were less. I drove an hour up into Michigan and interviewed for a job that would have been about a 50% pay cut. I said, they advertised it as, it's a good job. It's a great job. It just really wasn't that great of a job. I guess I have a different perspective on what a great job is. I guess I've been spoiled for a long time. And so we began to pray that things would change. But they didn't. They really didn't change. Things stayed hard, and my wife actually had to take another job. So she had 2 jobs, and I had my job. And there wasn't really a lot of time left over for me to take another job. You see, I'd work till 9, 10 o'clock at night a lot of times, sometimes 8 o'clock at night. And, God was answering other prayers. It wasn't like we felt, oh, boy, we must be in terrible sin. God doesn't hear our prayers. He would answer other prayers. He'd do other things. It's just the job situation just didn't change. And friends were praying for us, and the guys in my prayer meeting were praying for us that God would open something up and it would change. Well, eventually something did change, but it wasn't my job. It was my wife's job. My wife had to take a different job because of the situation she was in. She ended up taking a day job instead of working midnights, which really was a blessing in itself, because then we got to see each other a little bit more. We weren't passing each other. You know, she's coming home from work and I'm leaving and things like that. So her job changed. And then I continued to interview and look for other jobs. And an offer came in, and my wife said, "Oh, you should really go and check out this job." I wasn't really excited about it. And I said, "Oh, I don't know." Okay. Part of it was because they wanted to interview at 8 o'clock on, I think, Tuesday morning, 8 o'clock at Tuesday morning. So I need to be at work. You know, you see, it didn't matter how much more I worked. I wasn't working because I said, well, I've got to have a new car. Oh, I've got to have nicer clothes. I've got to have a bigger house. No, there just was no margin in our lives. I said, I've got to make more so that my wife can work less. And some opportunities came in, and one of them I was really excited about. It was a fabulous job, and I was talking to a guy that worked there. I said, what'd you make last year? Are they taking good care of you? He said, yeah, I do pretty good. I made $130,000 last year. I thought, wow, $130,000. What would I do with $130,000? My wife wouldn't have to work at all. She'd just stay home, take care of the kids. And so that was my mindset. I started focusing on that job. God, I've got to have that job. I've got to have that job. Anna can stay home with the kids. But what I didn't know, what I couldn't see, was that God didn't want Anna to stay home more with the kids. God wanted me to stay home more with the kids. You see, as a dad, you're responsible for teaching your children, for instructing your children. You as the dad, you need to be the primary role model. You need to be the one that's instilling those traits and qualities in them. And that wasn't happening. I'd see the kids a little bit on Saturday, or maybe for a few minutes, half an hour in the evening, right before they went to bed. Sometimes they'd already be asleep. And, you know, you walk in the room, good night, I love you. Hey, you know, try to put it into their mind through osmosis while they're sleeping. Remember, you're supposed to do your list of jobs in the morning. No. So as I couldn't see that God was changing things, I didn't really realize it. God was still in control. God was still the author and really the chief strategist behind everything, the way everything was working. So this other offer came up. I went and interviewed for it, and within 5 minutes of talking with the guys, they said, well, here's our benefit package. You know, when can you start? And I said, well, what could I expect to make a year if I did come here? He said, well, I'll be right back. I'll go crunch the numbers. And so the guy walked out, and he was gone for about 10 minutes. So I talked to his assistant for a little while, and he came back in, and he gave me a number. And that number is about $26,000 than where I am right now. It meant taking a $6 an hour pay cut. But the benefits are really, really good. But then as I began to weigh it over in my mind, I said, well, how much are my kids worth? Are my kids worth $6 an hour? I think they are. I think they're worth $6 an hour. In fact, I think they're worth a whole lot more than that. Because even if I'm successful in my ministries, even if I'm a good helper, even if I'm a good husband, if I'm a bad father, or if I'm just an absentee father, and my kids don't receive the training they should, and they don't grow up to live for God, then I will have failed. And so, the verse that I'd been reading that morning in my devotions, the very first verse that I read that day that I interviewed talked about not having a whole lot. You don't need a whole lot of things. As long as you have your family and you have your church and you have your God, that's what you really need to focus on. And so I basically told those folks, you know, I said, I'd really like to think this over a little bit. I'd like to pray about it, talk with my wife about it. He said, sure, we understand. The very next day, God confirmed it for me. Not only through my Bible reading, but I missed church the next day. The next day was, or a couple days later, Thursday. I ended up working late on a Thursday night. I said, yeah, I know what I need to do. I need to let go of this job and go take a job where I can get off at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, I don't want to make it seem like it's all going to be a bed of roses. They did say that, you know, there'll be times where you have to work overtime. snowstorms and things like that. You might have to work 16 hours a day, but I'm not going to have to do it every day. And that's a huge difference. And so I would just encourage you, it was years. It took years for God to work all that out. And all I could think about was Joseph and how Joseph was in prison down in Egypt. He went to Egypt at 17. He didn't get promoted until he was 30. 13 years went by. I was just thankful that I didn't have to wait 13 years. But it was during that time that God refocused what should really be important to me, changed my mind on things. And so we're going to step out by faith, and I'm sure that God's going to provide, because that's the way God works. You step out in faith, then God answers. David said, I've never seen the righteous forsaken or his seed begging bread. So I think we're going to be okay. Even with my insurance going up and my pay going down, we didn't starve. God always took care of us, and I think that by him pouring out his blessings and giving us all those things this summer, he was showing us that he could take care of us. He's got it under control. So I just encourage you, just put God first in your life, and especially dads, put your kids first. Because I know my little terrorists in training need a lot of work, and maybe you guys do too. Maybe we all need to focus a little bit more on what's really important.